basics, you said SQL basics are fine. So we just take overview of that. So we covered up to order by, and not, or, and, is, null, between. So all those different operations comes under basics. So after that, let's start with intermediate then. So in intermediate, we have, for example, aggregation. We will understand first, like how to aggregate and what are the different functions for that. So we have, for example, count. So when we pass it like this, so it actually counts the total number of records, the number of rows we have in the table. So how to count the total number of rows is like using this. So we have select count inside bracket star. So that means total we have these many rows. Now instead of passing star, we can also say any one column. So the difference between this and this is, if you pass a single column, the count function automatically filter out the null values. So it actually counts the not null values. So if you have a null value in that column, those will not be counted. So it is possible that when you run these two in parallel, the numbers might differ. And the reason will be because this column has certain values where there is a null, and in that same row, the other column do not have null. So that way, the difference will come. So if you just say this is 3000, this is 2000. So the reason will be that there are 1000 records where this high is null. So that is the reason. And this could also be less than the total record where like all the rows are null. So that way, basically this will also not be, those rows will not be counted in overall. Otherwise, if all the values are null and still we have one value where there is some value, this kind of star method will calculate that row also. So this is the most reliable way to calculate how many records are there. And then because generally we have a primary key and primary key cannot be null, so that way we also ensure that like how many records we have, we can get that from here. And we also use this just to understand like how many total not null values we have in a particular column. This is the first one that we use for aggregation. Then these are different ways of saying that. For example, we can also rename our column, because if you see here, when we run this, the output column actually is coming like this. So we can rename also with as. So we are saying count of date now as our column name. And then when you want to name your column with some space, then we need to pass as a string with inverted commas. Then the second aggregation which we use is sum. So it actually like add all the values together. So when we, for example, here taking a sum of volume, this is a total volume in our table. And then again, like sum, we have min max. So we can also get the minimum of the particular column or the maximum. So here we are doing that. Then along with, so these are like all basic stats where min, max, and adding or sum and the average. So average also we have AVG function. So this calculate the average of the column. So it shows that the average high is 165. Then this is like all set of aggregation function. Then we have another class of aggregation which is called group by. So this basically create a group based on the given condition, and inside the group then we pass our uh, arithmetic operation like count, average, min, max, all that. So what we are doing in this query, our goal is to calculate the total number of records per year. So it's not like total number of records overall in the table, but we want to calculate total number of records by year. So therefore we can use group by year. We are grouping by year, and once we create a group for each year, then we are running this function. So the format is like up to here, if you ignore this line and also this line, you can see that it's a simple query, select year from this table. Now what we are doing, along with here, we are also creating another column, which is the count star as count. So that column is coming. So this two column we are like creating, but we are here, this is special, like we are using group by. So the I mean, how we use group by is we need to mention the column on which you want to aggregate on, and the other columns will be like all uh, mathematical arithmetic columns. So here we can see that we are trying to aggregate on year. So first SQL will create group based on the year values. So let's say if the year column contain only 2 year, 2013 and 14. So you can imagine that the table will be broken down into two different tables internally. Like one table where the year value will be 2013 and all the records there, and another table where the records are year of 2014. So now once we have two groups, then on those group we have this particular function that we apply, count star as count. So we are saying count all the records. So in the from the first table, SQL will calculate the total count, then again from the second table, and this is exactly what is happening. Then they apply and merge everything together. So here we are saying 2014 20, and similarly we can get the records. So this is how group by works. Group by is a bit complex compared to simple select. Therefore, and this will be like we put in maybe in a tougher way. Like instead of simple statements, group by is something which we is also very helpful. So this is something where we try to aggregate by grouping. In Excel also you might have seen, and in Python also we use group by. So group by is very common where we try to calculate, I mean, we try to break into groups, and then inside the groups we actually apply our calculations, and then we later combine all that. Now another group by, but here what we are doing, we are saying this time that not only year, I want to group by year and month both. So here the same thing will happen. First SQL will create separate table for each year, and then from inside those table, from each table, it will again break that table down into multiple table based on the month. So now we have even smaller tables where year month value is unique, and then we run this operation count star, and then whatever the value is, this particular value, then it always stack together. So this is how SQL is getting us the results by aggregating everything together. So this one, this will be a record for us of a group. This is another group, and there we are getting a complete table out of it. For each group, we have one row, and SQL then appending all that row together to get us this kind of table. Then this is like same as this, but here we are saying instead of mentioning the full name of the column, we can also say the column index like this. So just like I think earlier also you might have seen this in the basics somewhere, that we use index. So here also we can simply pass an index also, like but index here is not a table index, but in which we are selecting it. So we are saying group by 1 and 2. So 1 and 2. So we are grouping by 1 and 2, this and this. Then we have yeah, this is again up to here is exactly same, but we are also now passing this statement order by. So once we group by something, we can also order that final table. We are saying order by month and year. So what is happening? First of all, we are ordering by month in ascending order, because by default in order by we have ascending. So first we are ascending by month. So all the 1 will come, then at the last all the 12 you can see. Then once we have this order, then we are also ordering by year. So inside each group of 1, we have another sorting by year. So you can see that 2001 2 3 4 again here 9 10 11 12 13 inside this group. So that is how we use order by year. Now, another thing that we typically use after grouping is having. So we are saying here that select, again same thing, but here only the operation we are changing max. We can also use average, mean, and all that thing, sum, even count. So we are saying max of high we want to find in each group, and also you can notice that we are grouping by this. So all these are same, and ordering by and limit are also we are applying. But here this is a new thing. So what we are doing here, we are saying that once we get the result, final result, we also want to apply this condition on the final result. We are saying having maximum high is greater than 400. So we are saying whatever output we get, we can also use the alias here. So that will also make it more readable, where the highest value or this column value is more than 400. Only those records we want. So therefore, we are saying all those records where the 400 plus values are, those are coming, and others are dropped from the group. So this is like why we use having. So because after the grouping, if you want to filter on, we can use having in that. Then there is another class of case we say. So in cases, what we do, uh, here you can see that we are saying player name, the year, and then something else. We'll come to that. So first understand the structure of our query. So we are saying uh, this column, then year column, and from this table. But here there is another column we are trying to create. So case basically is like if else statement in Python. So here we are saying case, and this is like the format that we use case. So we are saying case, and then we start providing condition. We are saying when this year value is senior, then yes, else null. So we are saying whenever the year value will be SR, only then we want this new column that we are trying to create will be yes, otherwise null. And here this is how we name the column. We are saying and as is a senior. So this way, uh, this is the how we create new column based on the conditional statements. So we can see that only where we have SR here, we have yes, otherwise none. So another case, we are saying again the same thing, but we can also say another string like yes and no. So you can see that again the same thing, but now it is being filled up with no. Then here another case, and what we are trying to say is like case, and we have four condition or four categories we are trying to create. We are saying when weight is more than 250, then this particular label, then same labels here. Otherwise, the remaining ones will be provided this label. So you can see that similarly, this is something, the output looking like this. So for example, 190. So if we have this label, 176 to 200. So this is how we are providing the case. Now we are saying that the best practice, obviously this will give us the result that we want, but still the best practice is to follow this kind of logic. So we are not only the lower limit, because here what is happening, when we say more than 200, we are obviously, I mean, we are already filtered at the 250 plus records. So the remaining records, which are like in this range, are available, but that is, we are saying, not a good practice. So the good practice is that also mention the limit of both side. Do not assume that upper limit is already considered, but clearly mention that this particular label, for example, more than 250, then this one, we are saying when weight is more than 200 and less than 250, only those records. So this is how like it increase our query length, but like it is considered better than the previous one, but output will be same in both cases. Then here we have like again case, and we are saying now we are trying to use the two different columns. We are saying with and condition, we are saying when year is FR and position is WR. When these two conditions will met, only then we got a label of this, otherwise null. So and in the output we are just printing the player name and this new column. So you can see the result. So that means everywhere these two conditions of these two values were not there. Only for this record, this condition matched, and therefore we can see the label here. Now here, here we are also now started adding some aggregations inside there is a case, and then we are providing this particular aggregation and whatever we covered earlier in group by. So overall, what is happening? This particular new column that we are creating, that is a column for us when we use group by. So first to understand this, then assume that it's a just a column, regular column in our table, and that will make the whole query meaningful. So here we are saying select this particular column, and we want some count, and then we are saying from there group by. We're also now grouping by, and in group by also we are providing the same case statement. So you can see that the cases with the aggregation are slightly more complicated when we complicated when come with the aggregate function. So this is how we are trying to show that if you want to use case statement with group by, so either create a view first, or like this also is possible. This is how we can mention it, and the output is like we have this particular column that we created, and the second one which we are aliasing as count is coming here. So these two counts are coming, and then also because we are grouping by the same logic, which is like this, so therefore we also have group by these particular records only, like fr and not fr, because that is our column values we are on which we are grouping by. So it's like a lot of things are happening, not only case which is being derived from this particular year, but on that column which we are creating on the fly, on that column we are again grouping by. So first of all, we are converting this particular year to a new column based on the logic, and we have two categories. Now we are also trying to group by on these two categories. So then this is like how the count is looking, which we are trying to get. But you can see how useful this is, right? This is like uh, you are doing two things in the single query, but and you are getting the result, which is like these two columns were even not there. Both the columns are something which we created. So this is like how we are using the case and group in a single statement. And now, select as from where this is simple. Then we are saying, okay, again, the case statement, and we are saying here group, and then count as one, and then we are saying again we are passing the index. So you can see that if you simply pass like this is also, which makes this very clear that instead of passing the whole statement, simply pass the index, so that way it automatically grab the alias here. So this is how we also like get the same table like this. And this is again kind of a, I would say, pivot. So pivoting you can see here. So what we are doing, it is same as the min max pivoting that we did earlier. So if you notice here in min max, yeah, so you can see that we passed to aggregation, right? One is min and second was max. So when we did that, you got something like this, a column for min and the column for max. Similarly, if you want to create, or here what is happening in Excel, you might have seen some pivot where we also like convert row to column, some transformation kind of thing. So here we are trying to do that. So we picked one column which we saw earlier, where you can see that fr count and so count, gr count. So that table we created. Have we created that table? Just a minute. Okay, I think if not, yeah, we can create that table, but here we are like trying to create it horizontally instead of vertically. So to create it vertically, we know that we need to apply group by on this particular column, and then we can get the count. But here what we're trying to do, we are saying select 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's understand the first one. Oh, wait, battery actually is low. Yeah. I think we need to today stop the session probably because there is no electricity here in my area and my battery is about to die, like 5% of battery is remaining.
Yeah, it's
So
fine.
yeah, we will give more time. I think half an hour will be more time in some session. So that way we will like cover it up. So, but I think code and all, have you got the code that we pushed?
No, yesterday
Okay.
code.
Yeah.
No, I haven't seen that code. Yeah,
So I
yesterday.
will then push it.
Yeah, you pushed today. Actually, yesterday basics I know all of that. Yeah, today just intermediate I don't know.
Oh, okay. So
I
I
did
will
my.
also check it.
Yeah.
Like if intermediate not there, I will push it. So also you can like go through the code and if you let me know if you're comfortable. So I think this is the intermediate we are covering. So we'll continue from here. But today, yeah, if electricity comes, I will also like inform and then we'll
Okay.
cover the rest of that. Otherwise, we will try to catch up and cover all this in another session.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, then. Thank you. I need
Thank
to.
you.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, bye.
Hello.
Yeah, hi, Tahir.
Yeah. So today's meeting got called off early.
Actually, there is no electricity in his area. He said that he will catch up in the next session this time.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.